alive. Oh, let me hide my shirt. We don't want any explicitity out there.
No, we don't. We don't. We don't. Welcome, everyone. We're going to allow everybody to trickle in, but thank you so much for joining us for Activating the New Earth Goddesses Part 2. It's your girls, Carme and Iman, in the house, ready to
Yeah.
really dive super, super deep with you guys. This is going to be a really juicy conversation all about really healing your womb and all things dating and all things relationships. We're going to be sharing some of our most like toxic dating stories and how that's changed our lives for the better. Because every relationship is an awakener and activator. So that's really how we see it. So make sure we're going to allow everybody like 5 minutes to get settled in, but get your favorite matcha, get your waters, get your coffees, get your teas, get cozy. I'm on my couch. Okay, I have my nice little blankie here, so I'm gonna be sitting. I have my
Oh, so
cacao,
cute.
made my cacao, y'all. So
Mm,
we're gonna be having our cacao, and feel free to like start dropping in the chat. I think you can do that. Hey Haley,
Hey,
welcome.
Haley.
Oh, hello. Haley is one of my past clients. So Iman,
Nice.
you're meeting like Haley was in cohort 2, Iman was in cohort
Nice.
1.
Nice. So
Hello,
cool.
sis.
Oh,
Welcome.
I
Yes,
love that
I'm
all your
happy.
students always show up for you. That's so cute.
Actually, one of my students came to my webinar that I had. I had a webinar. Hi, Nikki. Welcome. I had a webinar last Friday and Avriana came, Haley. It was so sweet. She's just like, she wrote in the chat, she's like, I'm just here to support. I just want to support you. I was like, oh, it's so
That's so
sweet.
cute.
It was so nice. So happy you're here, Haley. Thanks for coming. Thanks, Nikki. Everybody else start dropping in the chat where you're tuning in from. We're going to get started in literally 2 minutes. Like, just make sure that you are comfy and cozy. And I have my incense going. If you guys can't already see the flame, like the smoke flying through,
I
because
love
this
it.
is a ceremony, honey. This is still a ceremony, okay? So I ceremonialize and romanticize everything. So get your candles, get your incense, get cozy, and we're gonna have a delicious, juicy combo.
Thanks. What time is it for you, Carme?
It's 3:04
Oh,
right
okay. So
now.
you're only an hour behind me. Okay,
And
cool.
yeah, I'm an hour behind you. And then I was an hour ahead of you just like a month ago.
Literally
Hi,
so confusing.
Adriana.
Hey,
Welcome.
Adriana.
So
I really
excited.
hope that I really hope that we gave enough time for like people to join from TikTok and
Hello,
Instagram.
Yaheen. Hello, she does art. Hey, girl. Hi, hi, hi. Yeah, we'll give people time. We started 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes ago. So we're gonna give everybody like 2 minutes to start popping in. Welcome, sisters. We're so excited. We're about to dive in. It's about to get so juicy, so real up in here. So fun. Make sure that you have like your favorite matchas, your cozy teas, your cacaos. You got a blanket. Get cozy. I want y'all to get cozy, get relaxed. Put a do not disturb on your doors. Don't let nobody come in because this
That
is gonna be
part, that
for
part.
adults only.
Hey, K, Camise, Maxat.
Hello,
Hello,
Maxat.
everyone.
I'm right now watching live and drawing you guys because I'm bored. Oh my
That's so cute.
god!
Send it
Please
to us
share.
after. That would be
Yeah.
so nice to see.
Yeah, please share. Please share. Hi, Kay. Welcome, sis. Kay was also in my last cohort number
Oh,
2.
dope.
I didn't even see the topic. I just saw Carme's link and ran. Yay!
I
Yay!
love
Yay!
that.
Yay!
That's
Yay!
so adorable. So
Thank
cute.
you. All right. We're gonna start in about 20 seconds. 20 minutes, 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
20
Let me get
seconds.
my water. I might have to take a bathroom break at some point.
That's okay. Me too. We might both have to take bathroom breaks, so that's totally fine. Um, I'm really excited to share this with you guys because it's a topic that like I don't really talk about like on my on my TikTok, on my channels, anywhere. I don't really talk about love, dating, and womb healing too much. Like I did make one video about it, um, and that was pretty much it. But this is gonna be like really in depth, because this is also going to touch on like my experiences with womb healing, and then also how that's like transformed my relationship with dating, and how I view it. And Iman is also going to go into her experiences as well. Just from like, even because she just took the program in December, or yeah, she took the program last year, like
Yep.
November, December, January.
Yep.
And so it's going to be like, you guys get to just hear how like her life has changed from before and then during the program and then after, with how she views dating. Like, this is how we take our power back. Hello, everybody who's just joined. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please drop in the chat your name, where you're coming from. We're so excited. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the love. This is our first, well, my first YouTube live, but our first YouTube live together. So
Together.
us all of your love. We'd really appreciate it. You know, we need all the
Yes.
love.
This is actually part 2 to the TikTok we did a couple weeks ago, which had the same name, Activating the New Earth Goddess. And that TikTok live went really, really well. But we wanted to do part 2 on YouTube because sometimes TikTok comments are just filled with like men who are watching us for some reason and commenting on the things that we're talking about, even though it's clearly not for them. So that's why we wanted to do it on YouTube, because at least both of our audiences already are aware of the topics that we talk about, and we know that if they show up on YouTube, that means they really care about what we're talking about. They're not there just to troll or be weird.
Right,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. All right, so
So,
we're gonna get
yeah.
started right now. Thank you everybody for being here. Welcome to Activating the New Earth Goddesses Part 2. As Iman said, we joined together a couple weeks ago. We had about 70 to 100 participants in the TikTok Live, really going over Iman's journey through the program of Resurrecting the Womb and how we became friends and how we even met each other. And now we both live in Mexico, so it's just really interesting how that, and we also came by way of New York, so we have this like a very similar footprint on the
And
earth.
we literally randomly met in person one day without planning it. Do you remember that? We were both
Yeah.
at the same club,
Mhm.
and we were both at the very front of the DJ booth, and I turn around and I see Carme, and I'm like, we both start screaming, we hugged each other, we started jumping up and down, everyone's just looking at us like, "What is wrong with these girls?" And I was a little tipsy, so I was like, "Do you want some of my drink?" And Carmen's like, "No, Iman, I don't drink." And I was like, "Oh my god, but it's so nice to see you." It was very magical, it was a very magical moment.
Yeah, Iman is the first and only person I've met so far from my online program. So that was
No
like such a
way.
like really like, we weren't expecting that. That was not planned at all. That we met that night, and it was so exciting. And
It
so
was so
now here we are,
beautiful.
together, and working
Yeah.
together and creating together and collaborating together. And this is obviously like the vision, right? Is that through healing our wombs, we really are activating ourselves into our power. We're activating ourselves into our purpose, but we're also activating ourselves into sisterhood, okay? A
Mhm.
sisterhood that creates together, a sisterhood that supports each other, a sisterhood that like wants the other sister to shine brilliantly and doesn't feel threatened by the other sister's glow, right? Like that's what
Yep,
we're here to do, because that is
yep.
exactly what the patriarchy wanted. And that's exactly what they created over hundreds and thousands of years, is us comparing ourselves to each other, is us wanting to bring other sister down, is us being like, well, jealous of each other in whatever shape or form. And that is not how it's supposed to be. Like, women were
Mhm.
once in history schools, supporting each other, helping each other grow and become masters of their own energy, of their own gifts, of their own medicine. And that's what we're returning to with activating the new earth goddesses. That's why it's called activating the new earth goddesses, because who is going to activate another goddess? Another goddess,
Yep,
right? Like
yep,
that's who's
yep.
going to do
So
it.
true. Mhm,
Yeah. So
mhm.
So we're here to have this beautiful conversation. And so yeah, as I mentioned, Iman was in my program with me last year, and so we're really excited to really talk about womb healing as it relates to relationships, love, and dating, and just going over our experiences. How we're going to begin is we're going to just do a very short meditation, very very short, like 2 minutes, just to kind of get present in this space and to um, just ground. I know you guys probably were working before this or dealing with kids or dealing with whatever you were doing. So we want you guys to get really present. We want to get present as well. And then we're going to dive into this conversation. And we want you guys to
Mhm.
be like in the chat, responding to us, letting us know how you feel. We want this to be interactive. We want this to be engaging.
Mhm.
So we will be also like, as you know, we'll be pulling from things that you guys are saying in the comments, and we'll be sharing it like out here, and you'll hear us respond to you as well. But welcome, jellyfish. Hi, hi, hi.
And
Thank you.
I wanted to emphasize that the point of this particular live is to focus on what the point of healing is, because in our previous TikTok, we talked a lot about womb healing, but then there's a lot of women who heal their womb in order to attract a partner. And so we wanted to go beyond that, beyond healing to attract a man or a divine partner. What is the point? And so we actually are going to tell our own personal stories. So, not to say that healing shouldn't be about finding love or about finding a partner, but if you heal and you don't find a partner, you have to still be okay with that. So, that's what we're going to go over, how to be happy even when you do that difficult healing work and still don't find the partner that you want to end up with, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like Iman said something the other day where she was like, all the womb work that you're doing, the cleansings, the clearings, the juicings, the breast and womb massage, the yoni steams, she's like, there's no man doing the equivalent of that for you, right? There's no man doing his sacral chakra chanting and his, he's not doing steams and all of that. Like he's not sitting around writing a like notepad of all the things he wants and then giving it to the
Yeah,
goddess. Like that, we are doing those things, right? And so
exactly.
important to remember that we're healing for our own fulfillment. We're healing for our own wholeness. We're healing so that we can remember who we are as
Yeah,
women, right?
yeah.
Because we've only been taught that we as women exist because men existed. Because men exist. We
Oh,
are the products of men because we are the daughters of Eve and Adam, and that is not it. That is not the case at all, right?
mm-mm, it's not the
Healing
truth.
because we are the originals. We are the first. We have um our own purpose, our own light, our own desires beyond what any man could ever give us, right? So this is really important.
Facts.
And understanding that whatever partner that you call in is not your completion, okay? He's your complement. I think a lot of us think that we will be complete once we meet that person, like everything will be complete, but it's not about that. It's about who is going to complement you, who is going to be your equal, and who is going to be your match. That is the
Yep,
first thing, not who
yep,
is going to be your who's going to make you who's your other half essentially because you're already
yep,
whole, right?
yep.
So okay, let's dive into a short little breathing meditation. Welcome everybody that's coming in. We're just diving into a meditation. Get cozy, get comfortable, and then we're going to start this conversation. So go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose, spine straight, shoulders relaxed, quieting the mind, bringing your full consciousness and your full awareness inside of your body, allowing your consciousness to rest at your brow point, at your pineal gland. I want you to imagine and visualize streams of energy flowing back to you through your crown and down into your head as you call all of your energy as you call all of your attention that you've given away today, this week, this month, this year. I want you to call it back to you by visualizing these streams of energy flowing back to you from all the places of the universe that you've given it away, coming back into your body now. Visualizing roots growing from your womb down through your cervix, down through your vagina, out through your ovaries, down your legs, and through your feet. And hooking into the crystalline core of Mother Earth now. Thank you. Taking a deep inhale in through the nose and releasing through the mouth. I want you to bring your hands together to create some heat. Bringing your right hand over your heart and your left hand over your womb. I want you to take a deep inhale. Into your body. Calling in your higher self into this session, into this space. Calling in the grandmothers, the healed grandmothers. Calling in Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene to really support us, to really be here with us, to help us have realizations and breakthroughs and understandings and clarity. And I just want you to set an intention for this conversation that we have together. I want you to feel that intention being rooted into the roots and into the core of Mother Earth, feeling fully anchored. Fully relaxed, fully present. Allowing your energy to drop and to soften, softening your belly, softening your chest. And just calling in the energetics of peace and joy and play for this journey that we have today. As we prepare for the Pisces eclipse coming on Sunday, activating us into the Holy Mother, into the cosmic womb. And as we get ready for the Virgo eclipse, activating us into spiritual embodiment, into womb embodiment. Thank you. You may go ahead and roll your neck. You can also shake out your wrists. And just stretch a little bit. And you can do some rolls, some waist rolls, activating that Kundalini serpent energy. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come into the screen. All right. I hope how was that for everybody? Do you guys feel grounded? Do you guys feel present? Do you guys feel relaxed? Let us know in the
I
comments.
always enjoy your meditations.
Thank you, Iman.
You have actually like such a healing voice too. Like during
Mm,
the sessions that we did,
yeah.
those were some of the most impactful meditations of my life. And you know this, I've already told you this before. Like I didn't even know what meditating was until I did it with you. And then I was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
I can fuck with oh, sorry. I can I can get cool with this. I don't know what the right word for that is.
You know what I actually recommend too is like with cohort two, I recommend actually going back into the portal, the Kajabi portal, and doing the meditations again because the sound is better. I actually am using a mic this time and not just through
Uh,
the like MacBook Mac.
computer.
And so it's so much better. Like I recommend actually
Cool.
going back and you can hear me so much more. Like it's so much clearer now. So thank you to cohort one, Iman being the first sacrificial lamb.
I really was. I was like halfway through the meditation, I'd be like, Carme, you're kind of quiet. Can you speak up a little, please?
And I'm happy that like you still felt that they're so beautiful and powerful, even though like you could barely hear me.
No, it's all
Um,
good. Yeah.
I know.
But that was
Oh,
nice. That was nice. I feel grounded. I'm getting a pedi too. Oh, that's amazing. I need a meditate.
beautiful.
I need a pedicure.
Yes, feeling into this Pisces Virgo. Yeah, the energy is strong. Haley Divine, beautiful. Yes, I do love your meditations as well. They feel so profound. Thank you, Benny. Benny's in my program, right? Well, Benny was in cohort two, and now she's working with me privately. So we've been working together now
Cool.
for like a few months. Kay, yes, Command's the best meditation activity. Oh, thank you
So
guys.
sweet.
Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you.
So cute.
All these girls are like in my program. Who else is here who's like not in my program? Who's
Yeah,
like,
I wonder if there is. I wonder, can we see the viewers? I wonder if we can see. No, I don't
I don't
think we
think we can
can.
see the group, the viewers. But if you're here and
So interesting.
you don't know me or Iman personally, please announce yourself. We'd love to know who's here. But all right, so we're gonna get into the juicy, 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 juicy. So as Iman said, this is called healing beyond attracting love, right? And I really want to preface this. Hello, colorful chaos. I'm not, but love your work.
Oh,
Yay!
yay. Thank you.
Yeah, we're happy you're here. Okay, beautiful. Welcome. Um, so I want to be really frank. Like when I first started my healing journey, I believe that I was really healing to find a partner. Like I believe that I was doing a lot of this healing work because I thought that the reward at the end of this was a man. Okay, that's what I literally thought the reward was. And so, like, I would be like, I would do my healing and then I'd be like, okay, but then like now I'm ready to, where's my man now? Okay, I did the healing work. Where's my man now? I
Oh
did
my
the healing
God.
work.
So
Where's my man?
true. So
And who else
true.
is like that? Like, who else is just like, okay, but I've healed. Where's my person? Okay, but and you're just like feeling like you're dangling a carrot over your head of, okay, I'm healing, and now I want my man. And so I was doing that for a really long time, and I thought that that was the end goal. That was the whole purpose. That was the why in the beginning. And that has like over the years, especially the last like 2 years, I would say that's really, really changed for me. And my whole reason for why I'm healing has transformed. Okay. So we're gonna get into that. And the way we want to start this, Jasleen, I wasn't in the program, but I received email and was called to attend. Yay, welcome, Jasleen. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you.
Amazing.
We were gonna start off today is we're going to share our stories. These stories that really helped wake us up to why we're doing this work, why we're healing, and why it's more than just attracting a man, right? That's the
Mm-hmm.
whole point. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to invite
Mm-hmm.
Iman to start, and then I will share my story. And then we want you guys to drop in the chat too, like what your stories are, what you've experienced with dating and healing, and why you thought you were healing. Were you healing because you thought, okay, I want to get my man and that's why I'm doing it, or were you healing for a much higher purpose? Like we want to understand that. It's totally changed for me within the last 2 years. Yeah, exactly. There's a higher purpose to the healing work, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're here. All right, so
Mm-hmm.
Iman, take it away, sister.
Cool. Thank you. Well, I'm just gonna get right into it. I got into my first serious relationship this summer after I got back from spending 3 months in Egypt being held against my will because my parents found out I was smoking weed and they tried to get me married off to some random Muslim guy.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's a little bit of lore. I ended up having to fight them both. My dad was still in Canada, my mom was in Egypt with me, and I fought them every single day for like 3 months, begging to come back. And by the time I got back, I was like a shell of myself. Like
Mhm.
I was still very ambitious and resilient and whatever, but like emotionally I was very closed off and traumatized. So when I met my ex, he was one of the first men that showed like immediate interest in me, and I was used to chasing men at that point in my life. So I was kind of like, I kind of was a pick me because I was like, "Oh my god, a man's finally giving me attention. Yes, let me go date this guy." So I started dating him. And at the beginning, the relationship was actually very good. We had good chemistry. We laughed a lot. Like it was a helpful relationship to like get over a lot of the traumatizing things that I went through. And he was actually the first person who introduced me to manifestation. And he gave me a book called The Science of Getting Rich, which I read very quickly and understood and implemented right away. So that's when I got into manifestation and started getting a little further away from religion. And I do credit him for this because he was born and raised Christian, and he had already left Christianity and was like going down the spiritual route. So we bonded a lot over that, and I think that I finally made peace with the fact that I didn't wanna be religious because I didn't wanna be religious. That's why my parents sent me to Egypt to try to get me married off to some random Muslim guy, because they were like, "We see you getting further away from the religion, and it's not good, so go get married to some guy even though you're 21 years old or 22." I don't even remember how old I was, right? But so he helped me heal through that, and this was in the middle of like, our relationship lasted 3 years, so halfway through our relationship is when COVID started, and he lived at home with his parents, I had my own place to live, I had a roommate though also. So we didn't see each other as often because since everything was closed, like he basically didn't tell his parents he had a girlfriend, and so he would have to lie all the time about leaving the house and all this stuff and whatever. Anyways, long story short, halfway through our relationship, his brother-in-law passed away from an overdose of a drug that he was not supposed to be doing, but it was laced and he died. And his sister was about to be married to this guy in a month.
Mhm.
So that was a very traumatizing thing that happened in his family, and his entire family pretended like it didn't happen. They got a dog, they swept all the trauma under the rug, and they just focused their attention on the dog, and they just pretended that nothing happened. But being the partner of this guy who was going through this very traumatizing thing, I saw him turn into an alcoholic. And at first, I was like, "Okay, well, he's just coping, he's just depressed and whatever." And then over time, like months went by, and I was like, "He's not going to therapy, he's not getting help. His health is decreasing." Like you could see it on his face. That he was just not a functioning person anymore. So I had to really ask myself, like, is this a relationship that I'm gonna stay in because it started off good and healthy and with good chemistry and working towards a trajectory of something good? Or am I gonna have to break this relationship off and go rediscover myself? So basically, what happened was because he was so depressed, he started taking out his anger on me in the form of like verbal abuse. So at one point, he said something that really triggered me, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna break up with this guy. And I just broke up with him. And I was like, dude, like, I'm not, and this is the point of this story is I wasn't willing to lose myself to a man, especially since I saw him slowly deteriorate over like a year and a half, and he didn't want to do anything to help himself. And men will say that they want a woman to hold them down and be their ride or die, but when you try to actually tell them to help themselves, they don't want to hear it. They don't
Mhm.
wanna hear you tell them to help themselves, nor do they actually wanna help themselves until they decide to help themselves. So your role as a woman is to just shut up and be there for him and pretend that it's not affecting you too, even though it very clearly is.
Mhm.
So I left that relationship, and Ever since, like, I went to therapy a few months after that, so my therapist really helped me, like, rediscover my values and understand who I am and what's important to me, so I was able to bounce back, but I still kept attracting narcissistic men. I never got into a serious relationship after that. I was on and off with some guy for a couple months, like, for a year actually, before moving to Mexico, and that was, like, the last toxic guy that I was in a long-term relationship with, but every time he would piss me off, I would break up with him, and then, like, a couple weeks would go by, and then I would end up getting back with him again. So, it was not a real healthy relationship in the slightest. It was me settling. That's really what it was. It was me settling for some type of security and some type of companionship over being alone and having to do it all by myself.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
the a couple weeks before I moved to Mexico is when I met Carme, and then I found her on TikTok, and she was talking about having irregular periods. I signed up for the webinar, and then I found out she lives in Mexico, so I was like, "Boom, that's my sign, confirmation." Signed up for the womb cosmology, and as soon as I started the womb cosmology, I understood that the piece that I was missing in my healing journey all along was the emotional aspect of it because I was a very logical person. I knew how to think properly, I knew how to rationalize everything that was going on, but I was not feeling anything. I was completely ignoring my body and it was all being stored in my womb.
Mhm.
So ever since then, I finished the program in February
Mhm.
and right after that, and I told you, Carme, too, right after that, I met another toxic guy. And
Mhm.
I literally gave him the most healed, like, loving, open, honest version of myself, and he was a narcissistic demon, and the thing is, I saw it in his eyes, like, I saw the way he sucked me of my energy when we would be intimate, and I let it happen, and then
Mhm.
it got to a point where I was about to lose my apartment, and I was like, "This is my lesson." My lesson is just because you do all the healing work doesn't mean you're not gonna attract the same type of men and go through the same type of situation and end up in the same like BS,
Mhm.
because it ultimately comes down to whether or not you're willing to be alone in order to protect that healed version of yourself rather than sabotage all your hard work just so you can have some guy to sleep with that night, you
Mhm.
know? So I ended up cutting him off, and that was in June. And July and August, I made the most amount of money that I've made all year. So
Well,
like,
yes, yes. I want to go back to that piece that you just mentioned at the end is like, even if you do the healing work, you will and can, and it does happen, still attract a demon. Okay. But it's going to be up to you because here it is like, Iman knew it. Like she saw it in his eyes, she could feel it, but she went ahead anyway. Right. And this is the thing is like now when you do the healing work, you need to be like, okay, I see, I'm fully aware, I can fully recognize this person is actually going to soul suck, going to siphon, going to use me. And you're going to have to be like, no, right? You're gonna
yeah.
have to walk away, right? But like, what do you think? Why do you think you needed that reminder after, um, like after the program, knowing he's a demon, and then sleeping with him and being with him? Why do you think you needed that reminder?
Because it goes to show that men are always looking to take the easy way out, and it always comes down to you as a woman to do the actual real hard work of healing. And so once I did the actual real hard work of healing, I saw how much more desperate they were for that energy, and I realized, "Oh, this is why it's important to protect it because it takes real hard work to even have this energy." And that's why they desperately want it from you. But as soon as they take it from you, your life falls apart. Like,
Mhm.
I literally was about to lose my apartment because my landlord and I got into it, and, like, he almost broke the building door, and I left my key out there one night at the end of the night because I was like, we were both drunk and whatever, and there's, like, just a bunch of things that were happening because I was letting him into my space, and he was like, his life was advancing, like, he suddenly had more money to do all these little side hustles and all this, and I saw it happen, and I was like, "Oh, no, Iman. Girl, you're not gonna lose it all again for a man, like,
But
cut
why
this
but
shit
why do you
off."
think that you like needed to have that experience after, because you saw him, you saw this person probably was a demon. You saw this person was probably going to take your energy, and yet you continued anyway. Why do you think you needed that for yourself? What did you need to learn or to gain after the program, and have that experience to really get clear and to really be able to see, not with your two eyes, but with your third eye, that this
Mhm.
person is not good for you. This person is not in alignment for you.
And number 1, to absolutely 100% trust my intuition. I
Mm,
needed to stop ignoring myself.
mhm,
And number 2, to realize the impact of self-love,
mhm.
because at the end of the day, we had good chemistry. I was very attracted to him and he was very attracted to me. And because of that, I put my own self-love on the back burner because I was like, okay, well, I'm getting the attention and the cuddles and the affection from this guy. So it's okay. But then I realized, wait, no, like all this energy that I have is because I worked on my self-love. And now he wants to take it from me and give me like a 1% of it back. And I'm like, thank you very much, sir. Like it's pathetic, actually. It's very, very pathetic. So it's not in the sense that like I was punishing myself, but I had to really remind myself the two most important things is to trust my intuition and to not give up on loving myself.
Right, because
So,
that energy that you are cultivating, that you are growing, that you are nurturing within yourself is literal gold. That's what I want you guys to understand. That's what I want you guys to really, really, really get is your sexual creative energy is gold. Okay. It is, and I've said this many times in my TikTok videos, but like your sexual creative womb energy is the creme de la creme for men. Okay. So if this is why this whole patriarchal society is built around siphoning off a woman's creative and sexual energies. Okay, like I really want us
yeah.
to really understand that we are in a patriarchal timeline. We are in the
Yeah.
man's dream. We are birthing his story through our wombs. Okay, we are in a patriarchal timeline. All right, and this is why there's no coincidence that so many of us have fibroids, polyps, cysts, endo. Why it's on the rise? Why we have over 600,000 hysterectomies in the United States every single year? Why it just came out that they're stealing our placentas after we give birth to sell it to biotech companies. It is because your creative and sexual power is literally the greatest technology on this earth, and they are
Mhm.
trying to siphon it. And so here we are as womb keepers. Every single girl here is here to be a womb keeper, is here to hold and keep the mysteries alive that are living inside of our womb. We're here to really hone and understand how to master our own sexual creative energies, because if not, they will continue to siphon it from us.
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm, mhm.
so your womb is not only it's not only gold, it's like diamond technology, it's diamond frequency. Okay, like this is really what I want you guys to understand is like your womb is literally holding gold and diamonds in it. Like
Yeah.
this is that's the technology of your womb. Okay, and like when we are not protecting it, or we're not coveting it, when we are not holding that close to us, right, and we let anybody inside, because men know that so many girls are naive.
Mhm.
A lot of girls are naive, and they know that a lot of us girls just want attention. We're desperate for attention. We're desperate for someone to tell us we're beautiful, that we're pretty. We're desperate to feel validated. We're desperate because they've made us desperate because
Yeah.
in their paradigm in order to have any worth, right? That's why we were domesticated
Yeah.
in the old timeline, because they needed us to only feel valuable when we had a man, because that's the only way we could have property. It's the only way we could do anything is if we have a man. So we are literally healing out of the prostitution thread. We're healing out of all of these curses and spells over us where we literally need to continue to give our energy away. So, Haley has a question for you. Did the final reminder show you how far you've come and healed since last time? A celebratory moment and huge self pat on the back.
Well, first of all, thank you. Yes. That's the thing is like you really don't like I personally didn't realize it until I made as much money as I made in July. And that's because I still was a little bit dependent on him to provide for me. And I still had a little bit of that financial scarcity, even though I had healed my womb and Carme teaches that your womb is your bank account. So it was like, okay, well, my womb is my bank account. Now oh, sorry, my light died and I was looking for my charger, but I'll do it after. I was like, okay, well, my womb is my bank account. Now I'm ready to manifest what I want. But because I was giving this man all my power, my life was falling apart. And as soon as I cut him off and I took it back at the end of July, I was like, oh, that's what I've been doing wrong is not just and it's not even just about money, it's about the focus and the energy that you have when you actually do the things that are making you the money, you know? So that for me was the reminder that, oh, all this hard work that I went through during the womb cosmology program is what's allowed me to have the voice and the platform that I have now, which is what's allowed me to make the money that I made in July. And that's why when I spot a demon, I need to tell them to go to hell right away, you know? And it's funny because they know they sense this. They sense that you're elevating without them, so they come crawling back. Like it's funny. He literally made a new phone number, bought a new phone number to text me just a couple days ago, and I was like, "Are you crazy? Like, are you really trying to ruin my life again?" Like, But this time I'm like, dude, I'm not even gonna entertain this conversation because it's been proven to me through me choosing myself finally that it's a test. It's a test to see, like Carme said, if you're still desperate.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I was like, nope, I'm not. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you for the celebratory moment and the pat on the back. Yes, I do feel really, really proud of myself for that. And that's what we
Yeah.
mean by healing beyond attracting love. Because if I was still in that mindset, I could have been like, well, maybe he's changed. Maybe things will be different this time around. Let me give him another chance. But it's like, no, because now the point of my healing journey is not to attract some mediocre guy who's going to woo me with his words, because that's literally all they do. They just talk you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
no.
It's like take that. We don't. We're we're not desperate for attention. That we just want your charm and your sweet talking. Like that is so. We're so beyond sweet talking and charm. Like we are on spiritual mastery. We are on being whole and embodied. We are on being on our full power and our full
Period,
expression and our
exactly.
fully full voice. We are on being fully activated. You know what I mean? And it's like the more this is the thing that we need to understand as women. The more we rise, they have to rise to meet us. All right. The
Yes.
reason why they wanted to create a patriarchal society is that they can do below the bare minimum,
Mhm.
right? They didn't want to be I'm having a realization. They didn't the patriarchy is here because men didn't want to spiritually evolve.
That's
Okay.
so true,
That
girl.
is it. That
That's
is
so
why the
true because
patriarchy is here because they didn't want to spiritually evolve. They didn't want to become spiritual masters of themselves. That's why they created it so that we also don't become spiritual masters of ourselves,
mhm,
right? And
mhm,
so when we create the matriarchy again, men will have to spiritually evolve again. They'll have to
mhm,
grow. They'll
mhm,
have to rise to
mhm.
meet us because they cannot. We are the prize. Okay, we are the
Yep.
prize. And this is the thing is I used to say that we are the prize as a way to say, well, like I'm a prize like in relationship to him, like in terms of like he should want me. It was still always about a man. It
Yeah.
still wasn't
True.
like, no, I am the prize because I am the fucking like I am the
Yeah.
prize. Like period. Like
Yeah.
loving myself, knowing myself, unconditionally being connected to myself, being embodied with
Mhm.
myself. I am the prize. It doesn't matter if anyone notices it or not, but they will.
Absolutely.
So I want to give like I want to give some of my stories so you guys can hear
Yes, please
some
go
of
ahead.
mine. But I want to give actually a very recent story. I was just telling Iman this right before we hopped on the live that I was approach on the streets, and this Mexican Brazilian guy hit on me. The first thing he said was, "Are you Brazilian? You give off Brazilian energy." I was like, "No, I'm not." He's like, "You look Brazilian." I was like, "I've heard that before." And then we kept talking. He's like, "Can I take you on a date this weekend or next weekend?" I was like, "Okay, fine, whatever." Anyway, Friday comes along and homie is like, because he's like, "I'm gonna text you on Friday to tell you where I want to meet you." So this is Monday night. He texted me, "I'm gonna text you on Friday to tell you where we're gonna go, but we're gonna meet Sunday at 11." I'm like, "Okay, homie has a plan. He's saying Sunday at 11. Let's go." Because when I'm with a man, I don't want to think. Okay, I already do a lot of thinking. I want you to handle things for me. Okay, I want to be
Mhm,
relaxed.
mhm.
I want to be soft. I want to be my feminine energy. I'm not trying to plan nothing. I already do enough planning in my own life. So
Logistics and all that.
logistics and all, like, what?
No.
I'm not. That's not my job. Like, you are
No.
asking me on a date. You plan the whole date, homie. You plan the whole thing. And
Yes.
so anyway, he's like, "Yeah, I'll text you on Friday to tell you what the plan is for Sunday at 11." I said, "Okay, great." So Friday rolls around, homie texts me. He's like, "Hey, I don't really know where to go. Where do you want to go?" I was like, "What?" Like, first of all, you are from here. Okay? I'm not from here. You know where to go. Like, if you guys, Mexico is full of cafes, it's full of restaurants. I mean, it's a bountiful. I mean, we're spoiled here. We are
Yeah.
so spoiled in this country. Like, the the food, the action, like, it's just a beautiful country. It's a great country. There's so many places to eat, dine, everything. This homie could not find a place. I was like, he's trying to ask me to plan my own date that he asked me on. What? How are you trying to ask me to
Craziness.
plan my own date that you asked me on? No. So I'm like, I was like, just take me to one of your favorite vegetarian spots, because what's also rare is a Mexican vegetarian, and he was vegetarian. And I was so happy because I'm vegetarian. Um, he's like, I don't know, but I was like, okay, this guy is being lazy. So then I choose a spot, and then on Sunday we're supposed to meet. He messages me and he goes, "Hey, something came up. Can we meet at 12:30 or 1?" I responded and I was like, "No,
No.
no,
No.
no, no. This isn't working for
No.
this isn't working for me." He responded, guys. He responded and he said, "That's understandable." So this is what I'm talking to you guys about. He knew he was on some SHIT. Okay? He knew he was on some SHIT. He knew he was playing games. He was trying to see just how much I respected myself or did not respect myself. He
Yeah.
was trying to
Yeah.
see what my boundaries are. He was trying
Yeah.
to see how far he could go. He was trying to test me, right? He was trying to test me and say, "Oh, okay, yeah, like, I can get away with some SHIT with her because she has no boundaries." Right? She's so desperate for attention. She's so desperate to be liked. She will literally let me do below the bare minimum. I was like, "No." He said, "That's understandable." So
So
he knew,
insane.
y'all. He knew what he was doing. Okay? He knew what he was doing. So that was one. I was like, "Okay." Like,
And you know
very,
what?
very interesting. Huh?
Like, he probably saw your energy too, and he probably realized, like, "This is a very healed woman. Let me see how much I can lowball her." Because the way you radiate, like, you do glow, so I'm sure he recognized that, and when you glow like, we talked about this too, when you heal your womb, you become more beautiful, so
Yep.
he probably recognized that there was, like, something really unique and interesting and profound about you and still try to breadcrumb you. It's actually insulting. It's
Yeah.
insulting when they do that. Good for
Yeah.
you for standing on business.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all the love in the comments too.
Yes.
Then he said, "Why on earth do they test so much and try to push boundaries? Why not just be authentic and genuine?" Like, what? Because they're demons. That he was a demon. I'm not kidding. Like, I actually saw him
That's
in a vision. I
literally
saw him in a vision last night, and he revealed himself to me as a fox, guys, a trickster. A
Oh,
trickster.
no way. Oh my god, I'm getting
Trickster.
chills.
Yes. I saw him in a vision. I literally saw him in a vision. He came out of the woods as a fox,
No
and he
way.
was like wagging his tail. And he's like, "You want to come in the forest?" And I was just like, he's like, "You're cute." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to go in the forest with you. I don't want to go. I don't want to go there. I don't know you." And
Oh
like,
my god, you're so funny.
like that was so I was like, "Oh my god, that's him. He's a fox. Oh my god, he's a little trickster."
So
And he's
crazy.
trying to play little games. He's literally trying to play games. Like,
Crazy.
ooh, what can I do? What can I do? I know it's freaking insane. Okay, so that was just this past whatever. Then I was at when I the night I met Iman actually at this club. I met this boy, and you weren't. I met you. I saw you after he had left. Actually, so you when I saw you, I wasn't with anyone. I was with my girlfriends.
Yes.
But I'd met this guy at the same club that I met Iman at for the first time, and in person. And we were dancing all night. He had a table with his friends, and him and his friends were they're all like rich Mexicans. Okay, so they had a table. They're paying for everything. He's telling me how beautiful I am. Blah 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 blah. And then towards the like we were hanging out for like 2 to 3 hours. He's telling me how rich he is, how much money he has, how he can fly me anywhere, blah 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 blah.
I know, literally.
And then he goes, so after we hang out for like a few hours, he comes up to me and he's like, "Okay, well, I need to go. I'm leaving." And I was like, "Okay, like, cool." And I was so happy. I was like, "Great." He paid for my girlfriend's drinks all night because I don't drink. So he was paying for my girlfriend's drinks all night, like taking care of her all night. And like she got to have a great time and I got to be spoiled as well. And he's just now he's leaving. He's taking his booty and he's leaving, right? And then he looks at me before he leaves and he goes, "Damn, you are too hot for what I'm trying to do tonight." Now, I want you guys to take that in. At first, it might sound like, what is he saying? What does that mean? But essentially, what this homie was saying was, I don't think he was necessarily talking about my looks. I think he was talking about my essence, my being, my energy. Like, your being is way too beautiful, way too hot, way too rich, way too like self-respected, way too much like self-love for me to just degrade you to a one-night stand. Like he could feel my energy. Like he didn't even want to try. He didn't even ask. He didn't even say, like, I'm taking you. You want to go home? I have a place. Like he literally was just like he basically took himself out of the equation. Like he
I
basically
love
like
that.
self-rejected. He's like, I already know it's going to be a no. So let me just tell her it's my decision that I'm not taking her home tonight because I don't want her to reject me. So I'm gonna self opt out. I'm gonna
So
unsubscribe. Because I already know there's no chance in hell that this girl is going home. Like I can see that she loves herself way too much to go home with me like that, right? Like that is what I'm talking about. Is like once you really, really heal your womb, there will be some good men or some less bad men who
Mhm. Less
will
bad is the right word.
less bad who will be like, oh, I actually can see her and I don't I know that like I there's no way that I want to disrespect this person or even
Yeah,
try or even like make any kind of suggestion, right? To me that was like one of the
yeah,
best
best
compliments ever.
compliments.
I've never heard that before in my life, like a man say that to me. You know what I mean? Of like, hey, listen, I had fun spoiling you. I had fun spending my money on you, and I'm gonna take my ass home. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna try anything because I know that I don't got no chance, right? And
Period. We
so,
love that.
yeah, and that's what I'm
We
talking about.
love
When like
that.
we really heal, we really embody the goddess empress energy. Like I do feel like since I have done so much healing work, like I can spot a demon, I can smell a demon, I can see a demon, I can feel a demon, and I can also spot really sweet men. too.
Mhm,
I can
mhm.
actually spot good men, friendly men. Like, I feel like now I really do attract. Like, if I'm gonna, I attract, and I also, if I'm gonna let you more into my life, it's generally is a good man now.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, because I know, I can feel them now. I know when there's like soul behind the eyes, and I know when there's like
That
no
part.
soul behind the
That
eyes.
part.
You know what
Oh
I
my
mean?
god,
Like,
so
for real.
real.
So
Haley
true.
is asking, do we think men are conscious or unconscious of this manipulation and desire to test or soul suck?
Um, that's a really good question, Haley. I would say that if they have given their souls over to the demon, they're conscious of it.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so this actually is a good segue to my story. Those are just two
Yes.
little stories.
Yes.
My big
Tell
story
the yes.
is about actually, I'm not gonna tell the story I was gonna tell that we talked about. I'm gonna tell a different story because it actually
Okay.
segues to Haley's. Well, gosh, I have so many. You guys, it's so sad. I have so many demon stories. Okay, but um,
I have
uh,
so many negative stories to tell you guys. Oh my
I'm
god.
like, which demon story do I share?
Oh my
Haley also
lord.
asked, "Do we have a chance?" No, we do have. There is. Okay, so let me get to the
No,
story.
no,
Okay.
she said, did he have no
Oh,
chance?
did he have no chance? The guy that was the demon. Oh no, the sweet guy, the Mexican guy who like was paying for my drinks and my friend. Um, we were on vacation. I mean, I was in Playa del Carmen. I don't live in Playa del Carmen. And so I was there. He was visiting as well. He lives in the States. He was just there to party, but he's from born and raised in Mexico, but he lives and works in the States. So he was just back in Mexico to party and have fun. So it was just a fun night, a fun encounter, a romantic little flirt, but it wasn't love, okay? It
Or
wasn't love.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't love. I want somebody who like lives in my town, who lives in my city, who is available, who loves the city that I love, who like wants to be where I am. Like I want that. I don't want no long distance for me.
Yeah, no long distance.
Okay, but essentially, okay, actually I will tell my first story because the one I the next yeah, I'm not gonna do that. That one's too long. So one of my first loves ever, we met back in 2014. And this was when I was a pick me. I was a pick me just like Iman. If there's any other pick me's or were pick me's, drop in the chat because we all know that some of us were pick me's. I was one hell of a pick me, but I still had like some discernment in my early 20s. Like I had gone on dating apps. I had met my then boyfriend on a dating app. He immediately asked me on a date. We went out and he was late to the date because like an hour or maybe like 45 minutes late to the
Mm?
date because he didn't check which location to meet me at, and this restaurant in Manhattan had multiple locations, and so he went to
Uh,
the wrong one and
uh,
then kept me waiting for like 45 minutes, finally got there, and we had a pretty good conversation. But even though I was a pick me, I was still kind of a prude. So the first date, he tried to kiss me, and I was like, I don't like that. You can't kiss me on a first date. I was like very like turned off by that because you were late to the date and then you tried to kiss me on the first date. I was like, no. So he texted me at the end of the date and he's like, "Hey, it was really nice meeting you." And I was like, "I never want to see you again." And he was like, "Fair, fair, 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 fair."
You are so
Um,
funny.
I like texted him
Oh
that. I
my
was like,
god.
"I never want to see you again." And he's like, "Fair, get that." Um, so that was like in August of 2014. I never saw him again. And then I was on the subway home from Manhattan to Brooklyn from work, looking real cute in a white trench, and I saw him on the train. He was reading a book, and a black man, a distinguished black man, sitting on a train reading a book. If you guys know, you know. I was like, yes, let me go talk to that dude. He came up to me. He's like, "Hey, Carme, like, do you remember me?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." He asked me out, and then we ended up dating, and that was pretty much it. Now, throughout the relationship, I was like, I thought I had it all at that point. I was a sales manager at a tech company. I was, I had a really nice apartment in Brooklyn, and now I had my like Duke graduated black man boyfriend who's in finance and makes money, is good looking, is fit. Like, I was just like, I had reached like a really good place in my life. Boyfriend, job, New York living, making money. We can do whatever we want. We can travel. We traveled so much. Like, I was like, I have reached a place in my life that like I was on. Like, and he was really attractive guy. Like, I looked at, when you look at your man, you're just like, damn, he's fine. Like, I was so happy that I like found my like fine chocolate, like Duke graduated boyfriend. Okay. And like everybody was like jealous of me at my job. They were just like, wow, you like have it all. Like, you're so lucky. You have a boyfriend, you have this, you have that. And I was like, I know. But then like the whole time I was with him, sometimes things just did not feel right. Like, sometimes things just felt off. And I'm like, didn't want to kiss him sometimes. Like, I was like, what is going on? Like, something is happening here. Like, something doesn't feel right. So anyway, fast forward, I find out that this guy basically had a double life, which was really, really interesting because this man was like one of the sweetest men you could ever meet. Like, he would be the all my girlfriends were like, "Oh my god, your boyfriend is in love with you. He talks about you when you're not even in the room. He's always singing your praises. Like, he's the kind of guy who would like open the door for you. He would give up his seat for you. If he saw an old person walking, he would go and help them walk. Like, he was like that guy who was always putting himself out there to do the right thing. And he appeared to be like, wow, like a really, really nice guy. But he had a double life. And the double life was he was actually a sex addict and a porn addict. And he was seeing and sleeping with prostitutes like behind my back during the entire relationship. And the
So
only
crazy.
reason why I found out about it was because he contracted syphilis and he needed to tell me by law that he had syphilis and I needed to go get tested. Now, at that point, I was fucking devastated. Like, I was like, I thought this is gonna be my husband. This is what we're always, that's what we're thinking about when we're dating. We're like,
Mhm,
okay, like,
mhm.
this is my man, this is my husband, we're gonna get married, blah blah blah. But like, I just like fell into depression. Like, I fell into a deep, deep depression in 2016 when I found out. And and I got tested. I don't have syphilis. God is good, okay? Because yeah, that is so crazy. Like, my doctors were like, wow, like, that's crazy. I'm like, that's the goddess, she's looking out for me.
Facts.
Yeah, but like but what was really interesting was that he told me, because I was still so in love with him and so brainwashed at this point that I was like willing to still be with him even after he told me all of this, right?
It's
And
crazy.
he was like, Carme, you deserve better than this. He's like, yes, I might have an addiction. I might have, um, I might have this like addiction that I'm like struggling with. He's like, and it does overcome me and it does overpower me and it does push me to make these kinds of decisions. He's like, but I want you to know that it was still me making those decisions. He's like, I still chose to cheat on you. I could have not done it. Like, I could have stopped myself. And he's like, you do not deserve this. Like, you need to break up with me. And so I knew at this point, like, my ex, like, I believe that the person he was during the day is actually who he really is. And I do believe that, like, him telling the truth was him trying to save his soul. I really truly do believe that because he actually told me, because he was sexually assaulted when he was a kid. He was sexually molested as a kid. His mom died of cancer when he was a kid. So he's actually been through a lot of trauma. But on paper, you wouldn't really notice that. Like, all of his brothers went
Mhm.
to Duke. These are professional black men. They are lawyers, doctors, investment bankers. I mean, these are like the guys that you're like, oh, they're, but they actually suffered a lot of trauma, even though on paper, they appeared to be upstanding men, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so I know that my ex like went to Sex Addicts Anonymous. I know that he was really trying hard because he even told me like I know that if I don't heal this, I'll never be able to be in a long-term relationship and in an honest relationship. And he's like, and I do desire a wife, I do desire kids, I do desire family. And he's like, and I know that I can't be that man. I can't be that husband if I'm not healed. And so he's like, you need to let me go. And so he actually did the right thing. And and honestly, he redeemed himself with like I have no hard feelings for this man. Like I genuinely have forgiven this man on all levels, on all fronts. Like I really have nothing but love for him because I know he's a pure soul. I just know that he has demons that are trying to take over him, and he's fighting that, But there are some men out there that they don't want to give in to
Mhm.
they will give in. They want to give in. And a man that I dated, also upstanding black man, high earning, on paper looks like he is like, wow, like you go to his LinkedIn, guys in a suit, guys like polished. He's all these different things, but this man was had a whole fiance and girlfriend while he was seeing me. And I actually met his fiance because the goddess is good, and she found a way to bring me to this girl, even though I lived in Mexico and she lived in New York, where he lived, but somehow they ended up coming to Mexico. And one day, a sister friend, she was like, hey, you want to come to this black girl's lunch with me? I was like, sure. I came to the black girl's lunch, and the fiance is there. Now at the time I had no idea who she was, obviously. But as she started talking about her man and her fiance, I realized that her fiance was a guy that I had been dating. And then I told her, I was like, your man has been cheating on you. And and she couldn't believe it. She literally thought that she found the king. Like this man was a king. But it turns out that he not only had been cheating on her with me, but also had another girlfriend after
That's
me that he was
so
seeing
crazy.
with her that she had no idea. So this man had multiple girlfriends
So
while
crazy.
being with this girl, by being with his fiance for like 6 years. He had
So
had
crazy.
multiple girlfriends, and when I told her that he was cheating on her with me, she confronted him, and he said, "Yeah, it was just her. It was just her. I wasn't seeing anyone else." And then found out that he had a current girlfriend
So
at the
crazy.
time that he was at the time that I told her. This is like years apart. So I was seeing him in like 2021, and I just told her a few months ago. Somehow God brought her into my space, like so
So
freaking
wild.
3 years later. Somehow I met this girl because the truth always gets revealed to me. The truth,
Mhm.
all yes, a whole fiance, a whole girlfriend, yes, like suit, like you know what I mean, like the truth always finds me. That you cannot hide anything from me. The
So
truth will come
true.
to me, and somehow the truth came to me, and I found this girl. I told her, and then she was like, she thought it was just me, and I think that she was literally gonna stay with him when she thought it was just me. And then, because we do that, right? Because we're so like, we just want love. It's like, let's just give this mother. Blah. But anyway, we do that. But then found out that it was another girl during the same time that
Crazy.
he lied and said there was no one else. There was somebody else at that
Crazy.
time. And so, yeah, this is like,
How do
how
these
do
men
these
find the
girls?
time?
I don't
For
know. Like,
real. Because they don't have periods, because they don't have a luteal phase. They wake up and their body clock resets every 24 hours and they're ready to go again. And I'm actually low key jealous because it's like, yeah, you can get a lot done. You can have so many different lives when you don't have to have a period every month. Like,
yeah, it's
yeah.
true.
How did you
Yeah.
heal from this, Carme? How did that like transition into your womb healing?
So I had been on my womb healing journeys, like really proactively since 2021. And when I was with the two-timer, the two-timer crosser guy who has the fiance and the girlfriends, um, I had met him like 3 months after like I was done being initiated. So like the program that you did with me, Adriana, like Haley, like imagine like doing this program and then you meet a guy like that right after. So that's kind of what happened to me. And when I met him, I when we got intimate, I realized my body was telling me no. My body was like, Carme, no, this person is just, he's siphoning your sexual energy. He's siphoning your creative energy. He's trying to take from you. But what's interesting is these narcissistic men, they're activators for us. They're activators to see
Mhm.
where we are not mastering our own sexual energy,
Mhm. Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
They're activators to show us where we're still asleep, where
Yeah.
we're still unconscious, where we're still wounded, right? So it's like, yes, obviously, like he's a demon, but but also he helped initiate me into deeper self love because it was through dating him in 2021 where I realized like that's when I really woke up and I was like, this is not love.
Yeah.
Even though at this time I didn't even know he had a girlfriend, I didn't know he had a fiance, I didn't know any of those things. But the way he was treating me in the end, I was like, this is not love. And I think maybe in the past, I don't know if anybody else like this, I was taught that love is enduring the hard things, that love is
Yep.
staying even when it's hard, that love is putting up with the bullshit even when it's hard because that is love. So it puts a lot of women in these toxic situations and we think that we're doing the right thing by being loyal to a demon when really we need to get the up out of there and find some
Yep.
freaking self-love,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So
Yeah. Love is not sacrifice. Yep.
no, love is not
Exactly.
sacrificial. So I was like, at that point, I was like, I knew. I was like, no, this is not love. This is not what I'm worth. This is not what I deserve. And this person is doesn't see my worth and they don't see my value. And this is not what I'm here for. I'm here for divine union. I'm here for sacred love. I'm here for my beloved, not for to be degraded. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
Um, and so, yeah, so we really want to talk about, we wanted to share our two stories because after that relationship, I actually did end up meeting someone who was literally night and day from that first person, from the cheater, from the sex addict to the cheater. I actually met someone who was like literally night and day from those guys and not of my race. Like that was the first time that I actually dated like a white guy, like first time dating out of my race for like a really long period of time. He was actually British. Um, but it was like one of the most healing loves of my life. Like I have to be really honest and like it just like cracked me open in one of the like most gentle and soft ways. It was the first time that I actually knew what it meant to be soft in dating, what it meant to be gentle in dating, what it meant to be to have my brain turned off and have somebody just take care of me. It was the first time that I actually knew what it meant for someone to be fully emotionally available. Like and just available. So like if I texted him and was like, "Hey, you want to hang out?" Yes. Right? There was no like, "Oh, I'm too busy, I'm working," or "Oh, let's hang out tomorrow night," or just no text back, or like whatever. It was like, yes, I want to see you. Always affirming, always validating. I want to see you. I want to hang out with you. I want to be with you, blah, blah, blah. Like he was like, I don't know
Amazing.
you. I just want to see you. Like he would take me out, he'd pay for everything. I mean, I was spoiled after that. Okay. And I was like, oh, okay. Like this is actually what it's supposed to feel like. It's supposed to feel
Mhm.
easy. It's supposed to feel light. It's supposed to feel joyful. It's supposed to feel happy. It's supposed to feel pleasurable. It's supposed to feel like this. It's not supposed to feel like agony, like
Yeah.
suffering. Like you know what
Yep.
I mean? So um
Yep.
so that
And
was
that
like
is
go ahead.
sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say that is what the patriarchy and religion has convinced us is what we're supposed to be putting up with.
Mhm.
Literally, like all these systems of, oh, you need to find a man, well, a man needs to pick you and you need to submit to him and he's above you and he worships God, so you need to worship the same God and you need to birth more children so there can be more God worshippers for the world. And you have no purpose other than to be a baby making machine. And if you want to divorce him, God's going to curse you and the community is going to curse you and all this other like bullshit that just keeps women so stuck in these not even just physically suffocating situations, but emotionally suffocating situations too, to the point where like you actually exit your body and you become just like a shell of a person. Like you dissociate so much that you don't even know who you are anymore. You lose your identity. You actually don't even have an identity because you've given it all up for this man. And at the end, he leaves you with nothing. He literally leaves you with nothing. And then anytime you do try to rediscover yourself, it's a personal threat to him. It's an attack on him and on his ego. And he doesn't like it, and God doesn't like it. And you're going to be punished in hell. And this is a sin. And you need to submit and be more modest and shut up and sit down. It's like all these systems create this this delusion, this deluded state that women are living in, that we have no power, that men really are above us, that men really are, that we really are an extension of them. And I think we were talking about this. The patriarchy is a reversal of the truth because the truth is women came first. And actually learning about this and learning about the truth and learning about parthenogenesis and learning about how we used to just like procreate with ourselves, within ourselves, fertilize our own eggs, make our own fetuses, and birth just females makes me understand and realize why this program is in place in the first place,
Mhm,
because it genuinely makes them so mad.
mhm,
There's no other way to put it other than they're just so jealous. They're
mhm,
literally so jealous, and now that I talk about it on my TikTok, I see comments from men all the time, like, some dude was like, "Oh, you're not worshiping your creator." Oh, my phone's gonna die, I have to plug it in. He's like, "You're not worshiping your creator," and I was like, "My mother is my creator, but I don't need to worship her, you
mm,
know? Like, her body created me. And then what they've done is they've taken the act of pregnancy, of actually making a human life within your body, and they've still placed a male power over top of that and said, if it wasn't for this male power, your body wouldn't have the ability to grow this baby, which is not true.
mhm,
It's
mhm.
just such nonsense. It literally hurts my head. But that's why I love the womb cosmology program, because that type of information is legitimately so liberating, and it makes you understand things a lot more objectively, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I think like yeah, we were talking about this other day, is like the patriarchy is an inversion, and they have created it so that we feel like we're extensions of them, but they're truly extensions of us, right? They are an extensions of us. So I want to take us back in time a little bit to how we got here, because I think this is really really important. Iman touched on it briefly just now, but like, how did we become women who want to be pick me's? How did we become women who really want to feel completed and whole by finding a man that we created? How, you know, like how did we get here? And you guys know I talk about this in my program. If you've been in my program, or if you've joined, you know, me on TikTok or anywhere like that, like this has been happening for a very very long time. It has been happening since the patriarchy has been rising, and a lot of people think the patriarchy really was rising in Europe, but the patriarchy was rising way before that in Africa too. Okay, so African
Mhm,
men were turning against the African original holy mothers in
mhm,
Africa. Okay, it was happening way
mhm,
before then, but the most documented is the witch trials in Europe, when the priests, the Catholic priests, were commissioning and making law that any woman who was a powerful woman, a medicine woman, a healer, had to be burned at the stake, right? She needed to be exterminated, she needs to be eliminated. And I talk about this a lot, that they had two agendas. One was to usher in the medical field so that none of us know how to heal ourselves, right?
mhm,
That's why so many of us don't know how to heal our polyps. We don't know how to heal our cysts. We don't know how to heal our endometriosis, right? So that was the first agenda. right? And even now, if you try to go to a doctor for your fibroids, polyps, or cysts, they don't know how to heal you. They just take your womb, right? So that was it. That was the first agenda. Okay. So you need to really understand that we didn't just get here by just happenstance. This has been organized and strategic and subtle for
Mhm.
hundreds of thousands of years. The witch trials in Europe go down as folklore. You don't really, it's not in history books, which is fucking hilarious, but it really happened. Like from Germany to France to Portugal, they were burning women, okay, torturing them, okay.
Crazy.
And the second thing was to domesticate women. All right, because at one point we were sexual beings who were sovereign over our own bodies, and they wanted to turn us into sexual objects who were
Yeah.
owned as property, right?
Yeah.
They really wanted
Yeah.
to control us because they were afraid of us, because we were once the leaders in our communities. We were the matriarchs. We were the people that people looked to in the community, and these priests were jealous. Okay, and
Mhm.
they're like, no, we can't have women being the priests of their villages or the guides or the healers, the teachers. We need to intercept, right? We need to intercept. So that's what happened, is this interception. So we lost our identity, as being the teachers, the healers, the medicine, and the guides, and we became nothing more than a wife, right?
Yeah.
We became nothing more than a wife, and we became nothing more than a baby making machine. That is
Yeah.
why when you Google the definition of a uterus, it says a place where babies are grown and birthed. Because that's what they've literally reduced it to, is that you. And so there are literal men out there who think that we are inferior because we can literally take a single cell and turn it into a full grown fetus in 9 months. We're inferior for that.
And
We're
it's they
inferior.
think they hold the seed of life too. They think that sperm is the seed. They don't
Yeah,
even understand that they've been lied to about what their sperm actually is.
yeah, and sperm is actually inherently feminine. It represents that serpent consciousness. That's their sperm is made up of 50 to 60 mitochondrial DNA, which came from their mothers. So it's inherently
Wow.
feminine anyway. Okay.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's still, because when you were talking about parthenogenesis, and the parthenogenesis was the fact that these women had lingams and they had vaginas. They could take our clitorises were the lingams, and we would just self impregnate. Okay,
Oh,
but we
okay.
created the men eventually, because because we for genetic diversity. So it was like, okay, we need to, because if not, we would all just be clones. We were cloning
Yes.
ourselves, which was fine.
Yes.
That's what we wanted. But now it's like, okay, we needed men to, like, also be on Earth, and so we separated off. So then gave them the lingam. Our clitoris is shrunk. Okay, they have the lingam, but still the penis is rooted in the sperm, which still comes from the mother. It's still feminine in nature. That's why men need to do their healing work and really connect with their inner world, because that is actually how they feel whole. That is actually when they'll feel complete. That is actually when they'll feel embodied. That's actually when they'll feel in their full power, is when they accept the feminine. But here's the thing: these men are so afraid of going inward. They are so
Yeah.
afraid of the feminine. Like,
Yeah.
literally, when I
Yeah.
talk to my brother, who I deeply love, he's like one of my best friends. Like, I love this man. He is so against anything that's like, we're opposites, y'all. Like, you wouldn't even believe that we're related, because he is so against anything that's like spiritual. Like, if I talk about spirituality, like, he doesn't get it.
That's
And it's
crazy.
so crazy to think that, like, we came from the same mom and dad. It's like, how did we come from the same mom and dad, and you're like that and I'm like this? Like, I don't understand. Like, and I say that because my mom is spiritual, my dad was spiritual. He passed away a couple years ago. So it's not like he's coming from parents that weren't like me. Like, my mom is like me, my dad was very similar to me. Like, we were all spiritual, but he's like against spirituality, but like we're homies, but like he's against it. And
So
I'm just like,
interesting.
what the fuck? It's so crazy, but he like literally doesn't want to go inward. Like, he doesn't want to do any, like, he that just, so they're literally scared of the feminine, y'all. They're like scared of it. They don't want to go inward. They don't want to meditate. They don't want to do those things. And then sometimes when they do, they weaponize it, right? You guys have heard the spiritual
Yes.
fuckboys in Bali who are walking around
Yes.
being like, oh, Like I'm, a Krishna, da da da,
Yes.
Buddha, and then they're still doing the, cheating and all kinds of crazy stuff. So some of them, some of them are still even weaponizing it, even when they do become spiritual. So just because a man is telling you he's
Mhm.
spiritual, just because a man is telling you that he prays to God, it does not mean that he is not a demon still. Okay, so you
Mhm.
need to
Mhm.
be really aware. But anyway, I digress. So anyway, they created the priest, the patriarchy wanted to have domesticated women, which means which was really the fuel for the patriarchy, because now we were only birthing babies that were going to contribute to capitalism, right?
Yes,
Because we were
exactly.
our babies were becoming workers. So this was the same thing that these priests and this in the Catholic Church and that Europe was doing, and they brought it to Africa, they brought it to the Americas, and they were hanging and also torturing African women, Aztec women, Native American women. They were burning the priestesses in Africa. They were burning the priestesses in Mexico. And then what they would do, right, is they
I just
were.
want to insert a little point here because a lot of people blame Christianity for this, but the Muslims were doing the exact same thing. They
Mhm,
were going to Africa and spreading Islam violently and burning all the books and torturing the women and taking them as slaves and mixing the races. And that's why a lot of North Africa is more light skinned. So,
mhm,
yes,
yeah,
Christianity did it, but Islam did it also. But
yeah,
yes.
yeah. I
Continue.
mean, that's what was happening, and thanks for that. Thanks for adding that. And so what they did was they gave the men of these tribes and of these villages just a little bit more power, right? So now a man who is still enslaved and still subjugated still has a bit more power now than a woman,
Mhm.
the patriarchy even more,
Mhm.
right? For a man to feel like
Mhm.
he has some kind of control, for a man to feel like
Mhm.
he has some
Exactly.
kind of power or whatever. Okay. And so we have to understand what this did to women, right? For women to be domesticated meant they had to give up all sense of self. They had to dissociate. They had to become fully divided from the self, right? And our divinity, right? And our power. And
Yeah.
all of that lies within our womb. So that meant we couldn't speak out. We couldn't heal our communities. We couldn't be medicine women. We couldn't be in our gifts. We just had to have sex with this man we didn't even know, have his kids, and then we had to forget who we are, and then we're going to birth daughters and daughters and daughters and daughters who are going to have disembodied mothers.
Yeah.
Because when you have to separate off from yourself, that means you are disembodied, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what they wanted, because they knew that
Yeah.
when we're disembodied, we are weakened. Okay, we feel powerless, we feel small, we feel all of those things. Okay,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
that is exactly where they want us. So if you have
Mhm.
fibroids, polyps, cysts, endo, how do you feel? Probably powerless, probably hopeless, probably feeling defeated. That's exactly what they want. And so when you
Yeah.
feel those emotions, those are all breadcrumbs to the original wound,
Yeah.
to the original sin, actually.
Yeah.
And the original sin is when men turned their backs from the Holy Mother.
Mhm.
That is the
Mhm.
original sin. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm. Abrahamic religions. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I
Haley
wanted to
said,
touch. Sorry.
okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, Haley said, I joined a woman who runs with the Wolves Book Club. I remember you were doing that. That sounds amazing. Hope that's going well. And dozens of women on the call all described men marriages being the catalyst for their solo healing journeys. Yeah. This is common thread, right? So we're still programmed to bring it that the prize is a man. We're still programmed that way, even when we're
Yeah.
trying to heal.
Yep.
Um, they're so stupid. Amen. Different ancestors. Same with my sister. Interesting. My brother is the same aside from readings here and there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My brother, he feels more comfortable when I say things like the universe as opposed to like spirit goddess. Like if I said, "Oh, the universe brought me this," as opposed to saying, "Oh, spirit did." He feels more comfortable with that. Even though he doesn't understand
Mhm.
that the universe
Mhm.
is the goddess, but it's okay.
Crazy.
Abraham religions. Yeah. Go ahead, Iman.
So that was a good segue into like what are we actually attracting when we do this healing work? And for the last half an hour, we do want to focus a lot more on the attraction and the fulfillment part because as you've been listening to Carme and I speak about our stories, the common theme is we start at this point where we don't remember ourselves, and then a man is the catalyst for our healing journey. And then during our healing journey, we rediscover the goddess and we come back into ourselves, but then we get tested over and over and over again by coming across the same type of narcissistic man. And that's because we're still living in a patriarchy. So instead of trying to change the men or make the man that we're currently with the focus of our healing, we need to remove ourselves completely and find fulfillment in other aspects of our life. And for most women, we can't even conceptualize what that fulfillment looks like because the patriarchy has told you what fulfillment is. The
Mhm.
patriarchy has told you that fulfillment is a partner, a job, a house, a car, living in a first world country, traveling once or twice a year, and you should be happy with that. You know, they
Mhm.
believe in materialism. Exactly. And I was having this conversation with Carme the other day too. There's nothing wrong with having materials because we do need materials to survive. But the patriarch, especially capitalism, has convinced us that materials hold more value than simply just being alive. And the reality is there's no amount of materials that are ever going to fulfill you if you don't understand how to go inwards and be fulfilled from yourself. So
Mhm.
we want to talk about that. We want to talk about what it means. And someone had brought this up too. I'm not sure if she's still in the live. I think she had asked about divine union. And so
Oh,
we do want to
okay.
talk about that divine union.
Mhm.
Um, and how to even like heal through divine sacred union. And then
Mm.
in order for that to even be the case, you need to understand that, and we did, Carme touched on this earlier, the man that you're going to end up with or choose is not there to complete you. He needs to practically worship the ground that you walk on, and not in a way where he's inferior to you, but in a way where he really celebrates you. He's not threatened by who you are. He's not threatened by how much space you take up. He's not threatened by your power. He doesn't try to steal it. He doesn't try to ignore it. He actually nurtures that in you because he understands that he benefits also from
Mhm.
pouring into your cup. Because the truth is, men act like all they want from women is intimacy, like sex, but what they really want from women is love, because a woman's love is really healing for them. They understand that and they know it, but they convince us that it's not important, which is why all they want to do is use us for our physical bodies. And then when it's not fulfilling enough anymore, they move on to the next. And the reason why they do that is because they're not pouring into us, so we're not able to love them the way that we actually want to. And if we do, then they waste it, and we end up draining our own cup because we're loving a useless man, a literal demon. So we want to talk about this. We want to talk about what are you actually attracting, and if you're not attracting a divine partner, then how can you still find fulfillment? So, Carme, you can touch on it from here.
Yeah. Mm. So much there. So
I
much
know.
there.
I just wanted to give a
Um,
little brief of what we were going to be talking about in the last little bit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, we'll wrap up here in the next like 30 minutes. Thanks for staying on for all those who've stayed on from start to finish for our
Yeah, I
first
know.
YouTube
We
live
really
together.
appreciate. It's a
Yeah,
long
super,
live,
super
but
heart.
thank you.
But it's juicy. It's a juicy live.
Okay, sorry.
But yeah, so I mean, in the womb mysteries, what we believe is that just like the holy original ancient African mothers did, they created the first men, right? They created their first counterparts. They created the first men to walk on this earth. So what we believe in the womb mysteries is that you actually give birth to your divine counterpart, to your twin flame through your womb. And here's the thing, you're already birthing your partners through your womb. It's just old cyclical stories that your mom had, that your grandmother had. Thank you, Empress. So happy that you came. Um, and it's you're already doing it. You're just birthing an unhealed program of a reflection through your womb. Okay, and so what we believe is when you
Mhm, mhm.
actually brought your heart and your womb into union, that is when you birth your divine counterpart. Now, I am still a guinea pig for this, but this is what my teachers have taught me. Okay. And I truly do believe it because I believe in this work and I believe in what my teachers have taught me. And I believe in the history. Like, I believe in parthenogenesis. I believe in the African original holy mothers. I believe in how they populated this earth. So I know that in my heart and in my womb that this is true. Okay.
Mhm.
It's just that I am still a guinea pig for the goddess to reveal that manifestation in my own life. But it's only a matter of time. And I know that it's going to happen because I am here to activate the new earth family. I am here to activate that. And like one of my clients, who actually was my first client ever, her name is Tina. She's Egyptian, just like Iman. They look very similar, which is really,
I
really
know, it's so creepy. It's
but
so creepy in a good way, though.
yeah, yeah, they look very, very similar. She was my first client, and she just gave birth to her daughter Nur, and Nur was born July 3rd of this year. And I flew to New York so I could meet Nur, and so that I could say thank you to Nur because Nur was essentially her being, her soul. Initiated me into this work. I wouldn't even be sharing womb wisdom to the degree that I am and taking on clients if it weren't for Tina asking me, hey, would you help me heal my womb to prepare for conception? So that is what happened. And but that was Noor co-creating her own conception journey through her mother and through me, right? She
That's so
anointed
emotional.
and appointed us. It's so emotional. She anointed and appointed us to do this work so that she can come into an embodied womb so that she could be embodied herself, okay? Because she has a big mission, she has a big vision, she has a big purpose. And let me tell you guys something. This baby, she's not a baby, first of all. She's in a baby body. She's in a baby's body, but she is full, like, this is a powerful energy, a powerful goddess, and she is way ahead of her development, guys, way ahead of her development. Okay, so a baby is not really supposed to make direct eye contact until like 3 to 6 months or even up to a year. Okay? This baby Noor made direct eye contact with me on the first day, and she has like her first day being alive, 24 hours into being alive.
Stop,
I
I'm
was
gonna
telling
cry.
her and I was telling her, thank you so much for initiating me. I love you. I'm so happy you're here. We've all been waiting for you. We know that you're a goddess. We know that you're a priestess. Like, literally speaking to her. Babies can't see and they're blind when they're born. They literally cannot see. This baby found my eyes through hearing me and was looking at me in the eyes. And she has continued to make eye contact. She still makes
Oh
eye
my
contact in the
god.
first month. She can make direct eye contact. Okay, she's already doing things that, like, her milestones are like already, she's 6 months in advance. First month being alive, she's already doing it. And this is what I'm telling you, this is what we're doing when we create embodied children. We are creating evolved and advanced babies. Okay, and the women that I'm helping, all of my private clients right now besides Benilde, are women who are getting ready for conception. Okay, they want to have babies, and I know they're going to have daughters. I know they are because what we're doing is we're recreating a lineage together. We're recreating a lineage, a priestess lineage together, and so it's these priestesses, their souls, and this is what I'm talking about this year. That with Jupiter in Cancer, which is the mother, with Pisces, which is the divine cosmic mother, with Virgo, which is the spiritual mother. This is the year that these priestesses want to come into the world, and they want to come into the world embodied. Okay. So the reason why, I don't know how I got off that track, but uh,
No, because we were talking about what are we attracting. First of all, I need to stop crying because that's so beautiful.
she's
But we're
gorgeous,
talking
by
about
the way.
what we're attracting. We
Oh,
are attracting like the exactly what you said. Like you're first of all, you're depositing love and self
mm,
acceptance and transformation and the reclamation of your power, your own self approval into your womb, so that you can be a free sexual being,
mm,
so that you can
mhm.
birth that new earth goddess through yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, we're literally activating the new earth goddesses by
That's what
birthing
it
them.
means.
Yeah, that's so we first need to become activated, and then we can activate more of these divine feminine babies, these divine feminine spirits into the world. Kay said, "Sacred Birthing" by Suni Carl took the wisdom that Carmen shares. Oh, beautiful! Takes her wisdom. That's amazing. I haven't heard of that author or that book, but that sounds like a great book to read for anybody who's interested. But essentially, that's what we're doing. Okay, we okay. Sacred union. Yes. So that's what it's like. You can birth your counterpart. Okay, but here's the thing. I asked Iman, we were doing this prepping and organizing for this live. I was like, why should we heal though? Like, I know I want divine union. I know that I want divine love. But like, and that's why I was doing a lot of my healing work. But like, why should I do healing work if it's not going to be for a man? Tell me why. And so we were literally really brainstorming and really reflecting on this. And what really came through for us was that you are doing this healing work so that you can stop forgetting. You can stop forgetting who you are. You're doing this healing work so you can stop abandoning yourself. You're
Yep.
doing this healing work so you can stop abusing yourself, so you can stop being
Yep.
mean to yourself, so you can stop
Yep.
criticizing yourself, so you can stop thinking that you're an imposter in your own life, right? Because that was the whole point of the patriarchy is they wanted you to feel like you were just a worker and that you were just a man's compliment, that you were
Mhm.
his compliment, that you were his
Mhm.
trophy, right? And so many of us as women, we have a hard time stepping into our magic. We have a hard time stepping into our gifts. We have a hard time taking up space. We have a hard time being in our full expression because we feel like, oh, well, should I say that? Or, oh, should I speak up? Or who am I to really own my gifts? Or who am I to like speak on this? Like, who would ever
Yep.
listen to me? Or
Yep.
we go and we just like take in more and more and more information thinking that that's what's going to actually make us feel enough and worthy and that we're in our own and that we're in someone's authority. Here's the thing,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter how much information that you take in, you will never feel like you possess it, you'll never feel like you truly own it because it's not coming from your inner authority, and your inner
Yes.
authority comes from your womb. That is where
Yes.
it comes from. So when
Yes.
when when you actually gain your inner authority and you gain your own embodied wisdom, that's when you start repossessing yourself. That's when you start repossessing your magic. And this is why men created capitalism, was because they felt like their worth and their value came from external possession. That's why they wanted
Mhm.
the houses and the cars and the money, and they want stacks of money and they want to show because they really felt like, oh, it's like they're like, because the thing is, like, they were very jealous that women possessed the divine womb within us.
Yeah.
They were jealous of our inner possession of the
Yep.
divine. Okay. So they created capitalism and then created the beauty industry and created all these things, right? To take us out of ourselves, to distract ourselves, so that we never remember that we actually hold the greatest technology on earth right within our own selves, right? So
Yep.
once you do that, once you turn back inward, once you heal your womb, once you possess your own magic, repossess your own inner authority, right? You can actually stand in your brilliance. You can stand in your light and you can take
Mhm.
back the throne that you were always
Mhm.
meant to sit on,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And that is the whole point of it. But the reason why the patriarchy is there, the reason why your womb ailments are there is so that you self-destruct. That's the whole point. It's so that you actually just break down to the point of feeling absolutely like nothing and feeling
Yeah.
worthless and feeling like you
Yeah.
shouldn't exist, right? When you do healing work, when you do womb healing work, you remember, it's a path of truth and self remembrance. Okay. You
Mhm.
remember that your womb literally matters. Your matter matters. That's what we're coming back to. Okay, so this is why you heal beyond the man, is so that you can self actualize. It's so that you can self realize, that you can take back all the pieces of yourself that you had to give away, that your mother had to give away, that your grandmother had to give away, that your great grandmother had to give away, in order for you to be who you truly are. Because I can guarantee you do not know who you really are until you've healed your womb. Because think about,
Yeah.
like, Iman wasn't speaking about this stuff, speaking about how she is ex-Islam, how, and talking about the goddesses and patriarchy and all this. She wasn't doing that before the program. She was doing
Mhm.
that after the program, and it's like a fire coming out of her voice when she speaks.
Mhm.
And people are like
Mhm.
in droves finding her on TikTok because it's lighting them up. And that's what I always say, you can't activate other people if you have not activated yourself, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so we are not here as, so this is the thing. Women were not in the ancient times, it wasn't about finding a man, it was about being in mystery schools with women and fucking creating magic, okay? Me,
So true.
it is
Yes.
so true. Like, that's what we were doing. We were in mystery schools together, and we were
Yeah.
helping each other, supporting each other, and me and Iman, we cycle together. Like, we are literally bleeding at the same time together. This is
Yes,
what I
I
teach.
know. So
That's
crazy.
why they wanted to separate us, because they knew that when women are together, when we are not comparing each other, we're not breaking each other down, when we're not trying to belittle each other, we can actually create together. When we're bleeding, I talk about this on my video on YouTube. The secrets of the womb revealed is that when you are cycle syncing with your sisters, it is because you guys are literally creating in the astral realms together, right? So this is another thing for you. So my friend Tina, who had Noor, me and her were cycle syncing together, even though she lived in New York, even though me and Iman don't
That's
even live in the
so
same city.
crazy.
We were cycle syncing together. And what's even more interesting is Tina was told that Noor was going to come July 13th, July 14th, or something like that. Noor came early, then, and I never really trust doctors, whatever, but they said she was going to come on the 13th. Noor came early. She came on the day that I dropped my first blood that month. And I told Tina, I was like, she came during when you would have had your period. You know what I
Oh my
mean?
God.
So that is what I'm talking about. When you are literally synced up, we are literally in the fairy realms, okay? Working together, creating together, building together. And this is why they wanted to separate us and break us down, because they didn't want us
Mhm.
to have all of that
Mhm.
power.
And then they also convinced us that our worth depends on our appearance, right? Like you mentioned, the beauty industry, and I don't think we talk enough about how much damage that has actually done, because a lot of women place all of their value on their external appearance. And me and Carme were talking about this. In nature, the less beautiful gender is typically the female, and the reason why the males are the more attractive gender is because they understand that they have to be picked by the female in order to mate. So if they're not attractive to her, she doesn't care about him. So they've flipped this in the patriarchy again to make women feel like their value comes from their appearance. Think about how young women are getting their entire faces and bodies altered right now. To attract who? A subpar, ugly, unhealed man who's
Mhm.
gonna use her for her looks and then ditch her as soon as he finds someone that he deems more attractive. We have been tricked into thinking that our appearance is the only thing that matters. And the crazy thing is, healing your womb makes you beautiful. Healing your womb clears your skin, makes your hair grow longer, okay? Like heals your obviously your cysts and your endo and everything that's actually going on in your womb, but also your digestive system, your hydration, how well you retain nutrients. Like this, the beauty and the healing goes from the inside out. So you don't need as much creams. Like I promise you, my skincare routine went from like 6 products to two. Now it's my moisturizer and my sunscreen. And at night, I use my toner and my moisturizer. That's literally it. Because the focus on coming back into your body, and it's not even about decentering men. It's about understanding that you have value regardless of whether or not they look at you. You have value regardless of whether or not they're attracted to you. You have value whether or not anyone's giving you attention, because at the end of the day you are a soul who chose to be here. So that means you have a purpose, especially as a woman. Like I don't know what the purpose of men is, and we don't even have to go there, but I really, and it's hard to say this when you have pretty privilege and when you are a beautiful woman, because women will look at you and be like, well, that's easy for you to say, right? But look at Carme and I, when we're beautiful and we're embodied, we still attract the worst of the worst, you guys. They still
Mhm.
come to us and they still want to suck us dry. They don't treat you better when you're more
Mhm.
beautiful or when you're embodied. They actually want to destroy you more, right? And then they pit you against other women that they deem less attractive in order to make you insecure so that you think that the only thing that matters is your appearance. That's
Mhm.
why I'm against the beauty industry and fillers and enhancements and whatever. And even demonizing aging is insane, because in ancient civilizations, the older women were the most revered, were the most important in the society, and nobody criticized them for having under eye bags or wrinkles or gray hair or any of that. Like that was actually a sign that you were becoming a more like a woman of wisdom.
Mhm.
It's
An
all
elder.
been
Yeah.
reversed, you know? It's all, and it's unfortunate that young girls are falling for it and they're having babies and they're getting married to these loser demon men, and they've been convinced that this is what they need to do in order to win at life, and then they make other women their enemy, not realizing that they're actually sleeping with the enemy, unfortunately, you know?
Yeah. That's the
So
same
we
thing
will.
that happens with the womb though. It's like women end up cursing the womb. They'll say mean things about the womb because they have fibroids, polyps, cysts, endo. And it's like why it's the womb is not the one that needs to be cursed. It's not the one that's against you, honey. It birthed you, it loves you, it created every single person in your lineage. It's literally been generating people without you even consciously being connected to it for hundreds of thousands of years. It's not the womb, it's the patriarchy. Get it right? Like, you know what I mean? But I want to open it up for you guys. Like, I mean, I think we're gonna wrap up here. Like, you
Yeah.
obviously get the point. You're healing for yourself, and I want you guys to take time to reflect on this. I want you guys to take time to journal on this. Like, really get
Hmm.
honest with yourself. Like, oh, why have I been healing? Have I been healing to find Prince Charming, or have I been healing to fulfill my destiny, to fulfill my
Hmm.
purpose on Earth? Like, why am I doing this? You know what I mean? And really get honest with yourself and see what comes out. But before we wrap up, I do want to just open it up to any feedback, thoughts, questions. Um, I have to go, but thank you, goddesses. This has been so healing, and thank you for your energy and wisdom. Mwah, mwah,
Thank
mwah,
you,
mwah.
Haley.
Thank you for your support, Haley. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Love you. Have a good night. Does anybody have any questions for us? I actually really do want to hear from you guys and just like any thoughts that you have about this because like Haley said in her older comment, her past comment is like, this is actually a very common thing. Like, this is a very common thing. This was so lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you, Empress. I'm so happy you learned a lot. Okay, that's exactly what we want.
Yay.
Is
Yes, we
healthy,
wanted that.
nourishing, and empowering. Thanks, Benilde. We're so happy. So happy. Anybody have any questions for us about this? Or just like anything you want to know about healing and healing your womb and dating or any best practices or tips or anything. I think that one of the things that I would advise if as I parent my inner daughter, but if I had a daughter, what I would tell her is to really be patient when you're dating someone and to know that you don't owe them anything just because they decided to take you out on a date, just because they paid for like a $50 meal. You don't owe them a kiss, you don't owe them a
Yes.
hug, you don't owe them your
Yes.
body. You don't
Yes.
owe them a single thing. And it's okay to be patient, to wait to see if they're human. As
Mhm.
long as you can to find out if they're human. Wait as long as you can to find out if they have soul behind their eyes. Okay. And obviously, like, for myself, like, when I have a daughter, um I'm gonna pour so much love into her that she never feels a deficit, so that she doesn't ever need to go and seek it from somebody outside of me that's gonna
Mhm.
give her subpar bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna that's how she's going to, just like Noor, every single day what we were telling Noor is like, you are chosen, you are desired, you are wanted, you are beautiful. Like, we're pouring affirmations into this girl.
Mhm.
She's not, that's going into her subconscious, honey. That's going into her body. She's
That's
already
so
going to have
amazing.
very high self-worth, that she's not going to need some guy to be like, "Oh, you're cute." And be like, "Oh, I'm going to, give him my vagina now." It's like, no. We're not
So
going to just
true.
give someone our vagina cuz he says we're cute.
Yes.
Like, that's not what's happening, right? So I would just say be patient and let yourself wait, and to make your healing about something bigger than you, right? Make your healing about something
Yes.
bigger than you. Is
Yes.
there anything on
And
PMDD? I have it. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, no, I was just gonna say Empress had that question on PMDD. But Benny also asked best advice on how to wait to see if they're human or what to look for to know. And I wanted to answer that. Men always snitch on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So all you have to do is just listen. They
Mm-hmm.
always tell on themselves. I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later, especially if you make them drink. I'm not saying you should get someone drunk, but after a little drink, men will tell you the truth about anything.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
literally will, and you have to believe them when they tell you the truth. Don't try to manipulate it and be like, "Oh, but he meant it like this, or he meant it in this instance." No, he's telling you the truth. But
It's
yeah, you
really
can
true.
answer the PMDD
Yeah.
question.
No, that is so true. We'll come back to that, but I'll answer your
Yeah.
question first. Is there anything on PMDD? I have it and it sucks so bad. Um, I think with PMDD and with any kind of womb or menstrual disorder or irregularity, is to really address, as Iman was saying in the beginning, she was disconnected from the emotional aspect until she joined the program, and then she realized all the stories that she inherited inside of her womb. Is really connecting to the emotional aspects of, actually, I have a worksheet under one of my YouTube videos, for um, healing generational curses inside the womb. It's programmed more so for fibroids, but it's a really good place to start to really look at clues around how you feel over your cycle, what it brings up for you. Because as I talk about, every single womb ailment or disorder or dysmorphia is a messenger, right? It's
Mhm.
a messenger for what is going on and what has been suppressed and repressed inside of your lineage. Okay, and the path to healing it is to collapsing the story so that you can collapse the wound. Okay, so once you understand and you bring consciousness and awareness to what the story is, you will dissolve the PMDD. All womb ailments can be cured. All womb ailments can be healed. The womb is the most regenerative organ, okay, in the whole entire body. Okay, her stem cells are even more powerful than stem cells that come from bone marrow.
Mhm.
Okay, she is regenerative. You best believe she can heal herself. Okay, um, I was told that I couldn't shrink or expel my fibroids. I did not believe or intake or internalize the story of doctors who knew nothing about the spiritual, energetic, functions of the womb, and I did it, and I've been doing it. I'm still doing it, right?
Yeah.
I have endo clients who thought that they would never have a period without throwing up. They're having that. It all comes down to being spiritually, emotionally connected to your womb. You can heal it, as long as you start tuning in and listening to it. Yeah. When is celibacy necessary? So I'm celibate right now, but I don't even really call it celibate because I don't even like to put labels on it. I honestly, I haven't had intercourse in I haven't been sexually active with a man at all in like a year, since the last guy I was dating. And I would say that like celibacy is really, really important, especially um because okay, let me go back. Sorry. So a lot of people are celibate. A lot of women choose celibacy as a way as a path to healing, but then they haven't changed anything inside of their womb space. They haven't done womb healing, right? But they're celibate. So it's really, really important that while you're celibate, you're still healing your womb, okay? Because if not, the stories and everything that was still in there, your sexual energy, your attraction codes, right? Your attraction codes, the ones that we know most of are secure, avoidant, anxious attachment. If you have not healed your womb, you've not healed your attachment program. All right. So it's really, really
Mhm.
important to heal your womb so you can heal your attachment program. Like I genuinely feel like I'm securely attached now. That was one of my goals a few years ago. I was like, I want to be securely attached when I grow up. And I've done it because
When I grow up.
because womb healing has actually helped me to become securely attached. Okay. So
Mhm,
you need to do
mhm,
that. So I would say I would say celibacy is really important, especially if you're single and you are really trying to heal out of an avoidant or insecure attachment style.
mhm, mhm.
Okay, obviously that's when you really want to do it. Um, and I would also say that like celibacy is really important um, until you actually feel that this person, as Iman said, literally worships the ground that you walk on. Like until they worship, until you feel like they are worshiping. And if you're listening to this, you're like, well, that sounds like too much. Does he really need to worship? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, he absolutely needs to worship the ground
Mhm,
you walk
mhm,
on. Yes,
mhm,
every
mhm.
time he sees you, he needs to be like, wow, jaw drops to the floor. You are so beautiful. He needs to feel
Yes.
so lucky. Okay, you will not give it up for anything subpar than that. He needs to be
Yeah,
worshiping you. Yes. So I would say
I
until
agree.
you feel that, and then and I would say until you feel like you really understand your sexual energy. That's something too, because our sexual energy is a program. It's always moving, it's always working unconscious to us. Okay. And so um it's really important to become conscious of how your sexual energy works
Yep,
before you decide to engage sexually.
yep.
Yeah.
I was also gonna add to that, if you feel like you constantly fold when you meet an attractive guy, then it's time for a celibacy journey because deep down you're still trying to prove something to yourself. Either you're still trying to prove that a hot guy likes you, or you're trying to showcase your sexual energy to him for approval or for validation, or you have a void that you're trying to fill through hooking up with this attractive man. And that's not to say that you shouldn't be with an attractive man or that the man that worships the ground that you walk on should be an ugly simp that you're not attracted to and he just follows you around and worships you. Like, we're not promoting that at all. We want the attraction to be a two-way street, okay? We want you to like your partner as much as he likes you. But you can't be liking him and pouring into him and sharing your body with him having your fingers crossed that he's going to do the same before he's actually proven that that's how he feels about you. Because at that point, he has leverage and you gave yours away. So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think a lot of people, I think what we have been trained as women is to hope that they like us. And so we do
yeah,
all of our behaviors come from that place of deficit and lack of like, oh, I want him to like me. I don't want to scare him away. I want him to like me. And it's like, no, it's not about that. It's like, is he
yeah,
good enough for you? Do you
yeah,
like him?
exactly.
Is he proving himself to you? That is when you need to really think about it.
Hmm.
You need to reorient that
Your focus.
to, is he good enough for me? Is
Yes.
he proving himself to me? Right? Like the guy I was talking to you guys about in the beginning, I was like, this guy is literally, he's failing. Like he has a D minus, literally D minus. Like he can't even plan a first date. He's literally like asking me for a place when this is his city, his country, like you're canceled. You're
Nonsense.
deleted. You're
Yeah.
cut. Like you don't get it, honey. Go back to the bench. Actually, just get off the field. Like
Get off the field.
you can't even be
Take the
here.
jersey off. Go home.
Exactly, exactly. So I just wanted to share for anybody who's interested. We're going to be hopping off now, but I have a webinar coming up this Wednesday at noon for anybody who's interested in learning more about my program, Resurrecting the Womb. We only have about 4 spots left for the program, guys. So, and this is the last program I am offering this year. So, if healing your womb is a part of your 2025 goals, you are ready to get on top and find a blueprint and a structure and a and guidebook on how to heal your fibroids, polyps, cysts, endo, help with your fertility, find your dharma, release your voice. Please, please, please go to my link in bio and my bio site, and you can actually just sign up and register there. It'll be Wednesday at noon, and it's going to be really, really good. You're going to learn all about my framework, my process, my program, and yeah, the group that's already formed is just so sweet, such sweet girls. I love working in this intimate way with women. So if this is in alignment for you, and this is what you're searching for, need for your healing, for your like overcoming, for your liberation, for your sovereignty, remember that this is Mother Mary's energy right now. We are in the thick of it with these eclipses. Okay, we have the Virgo new moon, the dark moon, and we have the Virgo eclipse. We are in the Mother Mary vibrational portal right now, and we are
Mhm,
opening this program 2 days before the Pisces eclipse, which is a divine cosmic mother. Like, I was supposed to be having this program in August, and she pushed it back to September, y'all. She was like, no, I want you guys opening up in my archetype, in my energy, in my frequency, in my vibrations. This portal is going to be really, really powerful.
mhm,
And when you join in prayer with other women who are looking to finally heal their wombs, and you all are joining on the same prayer, magic and miracles happen. This is a time of
mhm.
miracles. So head over to my link in bio, register ASAP, and I hope to see you guys there. And then Iman also has a beautiful offering too. So just please listen to Iman before you run so that she can share her offering. Please.
Thank you, Carme. Well, the first thing I do is make music. I'm an artist. My YouTube has my music on it, so it is Iman Get a Life. And you can find me on TikTok, same username, Iman Get a Life. I wrote a book called Girl Get a Life. When you hear the phrase get a life, you think it's offensive, but what that really means is to stop comparing yourself to everybody else and where everybody else is and what they're doing with their life, and set some goals for yourself. Rewire the way you think about your progress, how far along you are, what people are going to say, how your parents are going to approve or disapprove. Do what you actually want, because yes, you can heal your womb and still be stuck mentally, because society will tell you it's shameful to be a singer, or it's shameful to be a model, or your parents are not going to approve if you want to move to a different country. So do Carme's program and then rewire your thoughts so that once you're clear on the outside, on the inside, you can live that life. You can literally just be a free woman. It's really all, it comes down to freedom. Freedom is one of my values. I need to be free in my life. I cannot have someone giving me permission for things to do or places to be or careers to pursue or topics to discuss. And if that motivates you, then click on the link in my bio. The book is called Girl Get a Life. It is $22.22. It's an ebook for now, but I do talk about it on my TikTok. So please join me on TikTok, and I'll see you guys over there. Thank you so much for joining us today. I had a great time talking with you, Carme. It's always a pleasure. So thank you as well for setting this up. We didn't know how to do a guest YouTube. So give Carme her props for setting this up, because the technical background of everything is a lot more difficult than it seems, you guys. But
Yeah, and I
yeah.
also just want to share that that it took Iman a lot of courage to go ex-Muslim, to leave her family, to write a book about it. Like, it takes a lot of courage to go on a womb healing journey, to awaken to all the things that you were once blinded to. It takes a lot of courage to take the path less traveled, but that is what is being asked of women now for us to break free from the patriarchal dream that we
Mhm.
have been birthing through our womb. So I just want to thank everybody
Mhm.
for joining. Cece, we're closing, so I'm so sorry you've missed most of it.
But it will
But
be on posted on Carme's live on
yeah,
Carme's YouTube. Sorry.
yeah, it'll be posted on my YouTube, so you'll have it there. But thank you, ladies. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope you have a beautiful Pisces eclipse on Sunday. And catch us on at our bio sites,
Social
at our
media.
LinkedIn bios, and in our TikToks. And we'll see you soon.
See you guys. Mwah. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you so much for showing up. Bye.